This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 25 through 27. It reads, "There is a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls. They have taken the treasure and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. Her priests have violated my law, and have profaned mine holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane, neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profaned among them. Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravening the prey, to shed blood and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain." Shalom Akim. Kohalo Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, whom I've grown in this truth under. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. All right, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations, but your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all. Barakatham. All right. So the name of this lesson is going to be Discernment is needed now more than ever. All right. Discernment is needed now more than ever. All right. So this lesson was inspired pretty much by a conversation that I was having with a beloved Akwath, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much what I wanted to do was to inform her. All right, I wanted to inform her that the time of the Passover, or the Pesach, as it's pronounced in the Hebrew, that this high holy day will be coming up on the 1st of April. You know what I'm saying? And, pretty much I wanted to lay this on her, all right, because I remember actually having this conversation with her last year concerning this high holy day, you know what I'm saying, which unfortunately she hadn't fully prepared for at the time, you know what I'm saying, and it's our major high holy day, you know what I'm saying. So much to her disappointment, you know what I'm saying, I had advised her not to observe it, you know what I'm saying, given how important this holy ceremony is, all right, that we keep, you know what I'm saying, and as a means to protect her pretty much from keeping it unworthily, you know what I'm saying, because you can end up causing, damage on yourself if you do that, you know what I'm saying. As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. All right, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, the start of verse 27. All right, as a matter of fact, let me hit verse 26. It says, "For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord." All right. "But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, I had advised her not to partake in the ceremony. You know what I'm saying? As a caution. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, she wasn't fully prepared at the time, and much of it comes because of you know, there's uh, 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 if you're listening to one group and they're telling you one thing and you listen to another group, all right, you get mixed up. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we often tell you, you know what I'm saying, many times, just stick to one group. You know what I'm saying? Stick to one group. All right. And most preferably what we say is stick to the doctrine of great millstone. All right, because we do not cut corners. We do not deviate from the scriptures. We keep it strictly according to prophecy and according to the oracles, right? So like I said, I advised her not to observe it. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, all right, she reached out, you know, and she said that she was giving up on keeping the high holy days because of this this division. You know what I'm saying? Because she said that she was tired of the confusions within, you know, the different Israelite camps. You know what I'm saying? Not being on one accord. And, pretty much pointing out that pagans, you know what I'm saying? Pagans all agree on the set dates. You know what I'm saying? Pagans agree on Christmas. Pagans agree on Easter. You know what I'm saying? These heathen, they agree on Independence Day and Valentine's Day, so on and so forth, right? But the Hebrew Israelites, can't do the same. And that's what I wanted to touch on in this lesson, pretty much, right? So for many of those newly coming into this truth for the first time, you know what I'm saying, and for those who have been in this thing for a number of years, all right, we the men of the Lord, beginning with our leaders, the apostles, bishops, and elders, okay, we can understand where you're coming from, all right? We can, because the journey to the truth is a very shaky one. You know what I'm saying? It's not meant to be something that's universally agreed upon. It's not meant to be something that's easily understood by everyone. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason for that. All right? In this truth, you will have divisions. All right? You will have differences in doctrine. And you will have false prophets in the midst of it. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than when Yahushua was walking the earth. Okay, when Yahushua was assembling his disciples, you know what I'm saying, when he was moving in his ministry, all right, going throughout throughout Judea, all right, when he was going throughout the different regions, you know what I'm saying, you had different sects of Israelites. You know what I'm saying? You had the Sadducees, the Sadducees. You know what I'm saying? You had the wicked Pharisees, so on and so forth. All right. You had the Zealots. You see, these were all different sects within the Israelites. Okay, amongst the Israelites that was in Judea at that time. Okay. And there were many who believed on Yahushua, and there were many who didn't. You know what I'm saying? Take for example the ancient Sakari. All right, the ancient Sakari, you know what I'm saying? They were zealots. All right, they didn't follow Yahushua. You see what I'm saying? They didn't follow Yahushua, man. They didn't follow his teachings. They thought that it was weak. They thought that it wasn't feasible. You know what I'm saying? and they took matters in their own hands. All right, you take the wicked Pharisees. There were some Pharisees that actually followed Yahushua, such as Nicodemus, but most of them were wicked. Most of them wanted to remain in power. You see what I'm saying? So this is a good example of what that that ancient division was, and it's no different today. It's no different. Remember, the scriptures say that which was then is now. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing new under the sun. So the same divisions that was taking place back in the time of Yahushua when he walked the earth, it's the same division that's taking place here in the last days. Okay? Let me get this in Isaiah chapter 8. All right, Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20, it says, "To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them." Okay? And we have the obligation, all right, to go strictly according to the scriptures, man. All right, so when we go and we tell you that the new Sabbath is coming, you know what I'm saying? Which he also asked this question before, all right, about the new moon Sabbaths, you know what I'm saying? All right, the Sabbath is actually dictated by the new moon. The high holy days are dictated by the new moon. You see, it is not dictated by a Gregorian calendar. All right, from January to December, you know what I'm saying, from Monday to Friday to Saturday to Sunday. All right, it wasn't dictated by any of that. All the high holy days, all the high holy days were dictated according to the cycles of the moon. Okay, and it's the same way today. It's never changed. You see what I'm saying? It has never changed. However, you will have those, okay, who will not stick to the actual scriptures on this. You see what I'm saying? And this is why, in most cases, all right, these different camps and these different these different sects, I should say, they keep the high holy days late, up to a month late. You know what I'm saying? Even a couple months late, maybe a month and a half. You know what I'm saying? But they still keep it late because they don't follow the actual cycle of the moon. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to Matthew. All right, Matthew chapter 7. And let's hit verse Matthew chapter 7, let's hit verse 14. It says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. You see what I'm saying? Few there be that find it. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. All right? Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Okay? Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them. Right? And so, in the grand scheme of things, man, most will look at all of this, you know what I'm saying? And they'll ask the question, why would we, the Hebrew Israelites, have such differences of opinion, or differences in doctrine, I should say, right? Why such a difference in doctrine? Well, the reason for that is rather simple. All right. It's because the Lord doesn't want all the children of Israel to receive the truth in its entirety. You see what I'm saying? The Lord doesn't want that. The Lord is not gathering all 12 of the tribes, completely. All right. There will be, as it's written in Revelation, okay, there will be an elect beginning with the 144,000. All right. Revelation chapter 7, goes into this, that there will be 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes to be placed as the governing body of the new world that's coming. And after them will be a large, innumerable multitude, which consists of 1/3 of the nation of Israel. All right. The rest will not make it on this side. The rest will be destroyed. Okay. And they will come through once again in the reincarnation when the kingdom is already established. All right. So the Lord doesn't want all the children of Israel to receive it, man. Okay. Let's go to Matthew chapter 13. All right, Matthew chapter 13, and let's start at verse 9. It reads, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? Okay, because if you follow the Lord's ministry, all right, he always spoke to the children of Israel, okay, to the mass majority, all right. He talked to them in parables. He always gave them riddles, things that were not easy to understand, right? So the disciples asked him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? Verse 11, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. You see what I'm saying? Unto them it is not given, but unto you it is given the mysteries. All right, and when you go into that word for mysteries, it's the Greek word mysterion. All right, mysterion, which goes into, all right, hidden truths that are only revealed unto the initiated, and not to ordinary mortals. You see what I'm saying? That's the meaning of the word mystery. So pretty much a select few have been predestinated, all right, or predestined to receive and understand the correct doctrine. And only one doctrine can be correct. You see, this is how narrow this path is. All right? That's how narrow the path is. Let's go to the book of Titus. All right, so this is Titus chapter 1. All right, Titus chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, holding fast the faithful word as he hath been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. You see? Let's go to 1 Peter. All right. First Peter chapter 4, verse 11. All right. It says, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High. All right. So when we, the prophets, speak, we don't speak according to our own opinions. We don't speak according to our own feelings. All right. We speak as what was written. All right. And what is dictated through the Spirit. You see what I'm saying? We don't speak of our own mind. All right. When we do, we always make sure to emphasize that we speak as a man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I speak as a man when I say this. You see what I'm saying? So when we speak, we as the prophets, when we speak according to the oracles of the Most High. And what does the oracle state? All right, the oracle state is that the high holy days are emphasized, or they are clocked in, if you will, all right, through the cycles of the new moon. Okay? And this is why we are able to give you the correct date of these high holy days. You see what I'm saying? So if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which the Most High giveth, that the Most High in all things may be glorified through Yahushua HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Okay? And so the fact of the matter is that, these divisions are meant to happen. They're supposed to happen. And they're necessary. You see what I'm saying? Because the Lord wants only his choicest few in order to receive 100% of the truth, man, that's needed for salvation. Okay? And that's the Lord's elect. Only the elect can receive this. And these are his precious stones. Right? So let me end this off. Let's go to Romans. All right, this is Romans chapter 11. Starting at verse 7, it says, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. You see, the elect will receive this. Okay? So you can't feel some kind of way because not all the camps are on one accord. No. Not all the Hebrew Israelites are on one accord. That's not what it's supposed to be. Okay? The truth is supposed to be a very narrow passage, and only a very few people can receive it. Only a very few people, all right, can follow the correct doctrine. And one way to know who is teaching the correct doctrine and who's not, well, one group would actually be praised and exalted, and the other group would actually be a pariah. Okay? That's a good indication right there. Again, it says, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. According as it is written, the Most High hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. You see what I'm saying? So again, not everyone is supposed to get this truth. Not everyone is meant to receive it and to grasp it and to follow it. Right? This is Malachi, chapter 3. All right, Malachi chapter 3 and verse 17. It reads, and they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. You see what I'm saying? So again, the name of this lesson was Discernment is Needed Now More Than Ever. I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. This has been your brother Zachariah Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.